Turnback descriptions essentially are a conveyance. We are given the limits of the land to be conveyed and alter each parcel to reflect that proposed right-of-way. They can be tricky and time-consuming to complete, and unfortunately they are at the bottom of our priority list in the description unit. The most important document needed to prepare a description is the authorization map. All the data necessary for determining the limits of the turnback has to be included on this document, as well as any changes or edits. While preparing the descriptions, we often use the graphic and narrative orders to assure continuity. Occasionally we run into ambiguities and Terry is notified, so we are an additional check in the turnback process. The most current final map is typically used to depict the limits of the turnback. In our unit, we need to study all of the right-of-way maps in our quest to find all of the affected parcels. The final mapping unit should have completed this step before the turnback reaches us, but I like to fit the rasters to the CAD limit line anyway. You can warp, rotate, scale many times and never fully fit the CAD data for the full length of a raster map. So it's helpful for me to manipulate the rasters to fit within just a section or just a half mile because of those lines getting so distorted. Now all of the affected parcel files are ordered from the record center. Even if we returned to an area and acquired the underlying fee, the original easement parcels are still included in that description. Just a side note, we keep all of the affected parcels until Terry gives us the okay to send them back to the record center. As we continue along our turnback description, we make copies of the deed, including the recording information. For the final certificate, we include the first few pages and the last page with the signatures. Now we can only convey what we acquired. If we find errors in the parcel description, we cannot correct them. It is what it is. To complete a turnback description, we need to know where each parcel is located. They often exclude the existing right-of-way. This is important to note because we cannot convey what we did inquire. In this example, parcel 19 is shaded in yellow. The original 33 feet was an existing road that we took over by orders. Our standard statement is, accepting therefrom the right-of-way of highway existing prior to January 1st, in this case 1929. This is the year of the deed or of the condemnation petition. This is an indication to the new road authority that we did not acquire the underlying rights to the previously existing road. Now there are cases where we are unable to locate a parcel file or a recorded document. Dun, dun, dun. We can verify that the acquisition was completed by checking the run. This is a notorious 3-ring binder located in the project coordination unit. It is also available in Realms by running a report. So you click on the hammer icon in Realms, click on reports, this pops up, select main, and you can either select current parcel inventory by control section or by county. Then you need to find your parcel and it will tell you if it was acquired by easement, E for easement, F for fee, and it should give you a date that it was paid for. For a copy of a recorded document, we will contact Jeff Schuweiler for assistance. He's our go-to guy. So we'll also create a new parcel file to replace that lost one and add a copy of that recorded document. If it is evident that a parcel was not acquired, we cannot include it in the turnback, and that may mean that the turnback boundary has to be changed. There are two different types of conveying descriptions. One is an all of, which means the entire parcel is being conveyed. These are my favorite. As you can see from the description, it just says parcel 305, all of tract A described below. Easy breezy. And then there are the part ofs. These can get brutal. This is a simple example. I'm going to use parcel 19 again, but now we're going to have to limit it. It's important that we can tie this information together. So if you want us to limit the parcel by stationing, it'll have to be stationing along the center line used to describe parcel 19, or some other adequate information to tie into. But not only are we having to factor in the new limiting lines, we have to consider the old. Our raster images can get dirty, as many of you know, and it can be tough to distinguish where these instances are located. So we will describe the original parcel, accept out the previous conveyance or turnback, and then accept out the new turnback. The data on the authorization map should match. If they don't, we will write the description to match regardless. But to keep continuity between orders, mapping, and descriptions, and the information that you guys have, it's best to have that all matching before it reaches us. And then we have the new limiter lines to tend to. Frontage roads are always a treat. We cannot begin our description from a TV point on a graphic order, so we have to follow the line to the closest B corner, section corner, etc. We also run into situations where the curves have been broken up between graphic orders. If it is the same curve, it'd be really nice if you guys could provide the complete data on the authorization map. It simplifies the description having one complete curve, and we may not be able to compute that ourselves without spending a considerable amount of time doing so. Here are some examples of a parcel with a conveyance and a limiter. These can get pretty lengthy. The description doesn't end with parcel descriptions. Turnbacks include reservations. Access control is the most common. We have to list all of the parcels that we are retaining access control on and also describe all of the openings. But Metro is notorious for other reservations. And a writer finally completes the description. But it's not over yet. It's handed off to another for a check. Normally, every description is reviewed by two others. They have to go through the same process, review each description and map, and compare it to the record. Then they add their red lines. And now we are on our final stretch to a completed description. It is sent to the typist and sent back to check for errors. This is what we call the read back. The unfortunate soul that wrote the description in the first check read the entire typed description and compare it to the writer's version to make sure that it is free from errors. Hopefully free from errors. And that, my friends, is how we do a turnback legal description.